Terence Crawford just saw something that left him completely stunned. The footage of Teofimo Lopez training has been making rounds, and word is that Crawford's reaction was unlike anything anyone expected. We're talking about the pound-for-pound king here, and he's apparently genuinely shook about what his boy Shakur is walking into. This wasn't some casual comment either. People close to Crawford say he's legitimately worried after seeing the absolutely frightening condition that Teofimo is in right now. So here's what went down behind closed doors. Multiple insiders are saying Crawford had some pretty wild things to say about Lopez's current state. The word is Crawford looked at that training footage and basically said this dude is a straight-up monster right now. Never seen Teo looking this terrifying. Shakur better come correct because this version of Lopez is something we haven't witnessed before. Now this has social media going absolutely crazy, with everyone trying to figure out if Crawford is genuinely scared or just building hype for January 3rd. But here's the thing though. Several sources are insisting Crawford's worries are completely real, and he's been drilling Shakur even harder after seeing what Teofimo is bringing.
I think it's a great fight. You'll really see, because at the end of it, they're both Olympians. They're both multi-division world champions. Teo is an incredible fighter, and Shakur is an incredible fighter. Shakur has a really high boxing IQ.
Now, before we get into the training footage that has everybody talking, Crawford dropped some predictions that made this whole situation even crazier. Right after those sparring videos of Crawford and Shakur went viral, Terence came out with a bold prediction about this upcoming battle. Crawford reportedly posted on social media saying, "I don't know everything, but what I do know is Shakur Stevenson is about to destroy Teofimo Lopez." But here's where it gets interesting. Even though that message sounded confident, people who know Crawford personally say there was something different about his tone this time. One source allegedly said Crawford always supports Shakur publicly because that's his guy. But privately he's been telling people that Teo is looking absolutely insane in training. He's definitely not sleeping on this fight.
Great defensive fighter, very good offensive fighter. The difference between the two, for me, I think that Teofimo might be a little bit stronger of the two. But speed can sometimes nullify power.
This whole thing is wild, because Crawford has been right there with Shakur throughout this entire camp. He knows exactly what kind of shape Stevenson is, and how his preparation is going. A lot of people think Crawford is just trying to keep Shakur confident and motivated with those public statements, but his private concerns about Teofimo's preparation might be telling a completely different story. The boxing world has been going nuts ever since both fighters started posting training footage online, with everyone trying to break down every single detail to figure out who has the edge. What's crazy is there have allegedly been moments during Shakur's camp where even Crawford seemed shocked by the level of intensity that Teofimo is bringing.
It's the only way to win. If he stays outside of boxes, Shakur gonna pick him apart. Shakur's a polished boxer with some of the best feet in the game right now, and he's a defensive-minded fighter, which is very smart. It's hard to hit him. He makes you gamble to hit him, and he's gonna be a tough one to deal with. But if Teofimo is willing to gamble to beat him, then Teofimo can definitely make it a really good fight.
Word is Terence Crawford pulled Shakur aside and showed him some recent footage of Teofimo working out and made some pretty concerning observations. One insider who wanted to stay anonymous reportedly shared that Crawford basically told Shakur, "Look at this man's hand speed, look at his power, look at his movement." He wasn't trying to psych him out, but he definitely wanted Shakur to realize that this isn't the same Teofimo from his last few fights. These conversations are taking on huge importance now that we're just weeks away from one of the biggest fights of the year, and fans are wondering if Crawford sees something the rest of us are missing. Most boxing experts believe Crawford's experience at the highest level gives him a special ability to evaluate fighters' conditions and predict outcomes just from watching training footage.
And I feel like you one of the last of the dying breed that actually want real challenges.
Yeah, I'm competitive, bro, so it's like I want to be the best. So when I see certain guys out there, and I seen Teo his last fight, I was there front row, and I'm like, damn, this dude is like, he's like a baby Roy. Like, he like doing things with his hands down, flashy.
Sources are saying there were moments during camp where Crawford allegedly told Shakur's team they needed to crank up the intensity because Teofimo was preparing like his career depended on it. According to people familiar with what happened, there was supposedly a moment where Crawford told the team, "You all don't get it. Teo is coming for blood. This man is training like he's about to fight for undisputed at heavyweight. We need to match that energy, or this could get real ugly, real fast." This supposed statement is now being picked apart by fans who think Crawford was genuinely concerned about whether Shakur was taking this threat seriously enough early in camp. The most shocking part of this entire story is the specific training footage that allegedly made Crawford rethink his original assessment of how this fight was going to go.
He a little cuckoo too. Like he has like a little mental lapses every once in a while.
So who do you think wins that fight between him and Teofimo Lopez if they fight?
I think Shakur wins. And I don't think it's going to be like a super tough fight either. His IQ will frustrate him.
Don't you think Teo has also good ring IQ and also is slick, fast?
Multiple sources who follow both fighters on social media are saying Teofimo Lopez has been dropping absolutely devastating training videos that show his speed and conditioning at levels nobody has seen before. One source close to Crawford's camp reportedly said Crawford watched Teo hitting the mitts, and his exact words were, "That's different, that's not normal." He kept rewinding the video and studying the combinations, the angles, the explosiveness. You could see he was both impressed and worried at the same time. Now these alleged reactions from Crawford haven't been officially confirmed, but the fact that multiple sources are saying the same thing suggests something major happened during training camp.
I think it's really that time for him to really take his first loss and, me whoop his ass to the point where either he quits on the stool or I knock him out. How I see this fight being played out is with me pretty much setting that momentum for the people out there as well. Not really trying to force for it. However, I can't be too technical with Shakur.
But what makes this whole situation even more intense is that Crawford allegedly didn't just watch the footage by himself. He reportedly showed it to Shakur and other members of the training team to make sure everyone understood what they're dealing with. Fans have been absolutely blowing up social media with both excitement and worry about these revelations, with emotions running through the roof across the boxing community. One fan allegedly tweeted, "If Crawford is genuinely worried about Shakur after seeing Teo's training, then this fight is going to be absolutely incredible. Bud recognizes talent when he sees it, and he's never been wrong before." Another wrote, "Terence calling Teofimo a beast is the ultimate stamp of approval. This man beat Canelo, and he's saying Teo looks scary. January 31st needs to get here now."
You just said, though, you said that you ready to pull an upset. So you acknowledging that Shakur is the better fighter?
Never.
No. You just said that. You said the upset.
Well, I say the odds are probably has him ahead.
No, yeah, it's just the odds. They got him as the favorite.
Right now, it's looking like 3-1 odds. That's where we're at. But here's the thing, though. Skeptics have been quick to point out that all of this could just be part of the promotional buildup to create more buzz and pay-per-view sales. One critical fan commented, "This is all just marketing and promotion." Obviously, Crawford is going to say Teo looks dangerous. It makes Shakur's potential win look even more impressive. Don't buy into the promotional tactics. This split among fans shows the complicated nature of modern boxing promotion, where real concerns and strategic hype often become impossible to tell apart. The timing of Crawford's alleged comments is especially important, considering how close we are to the actual fight date at Madison Square Garden. The fight is set for January 31st, which means both fighters are deep into their final prep stages, and any mind games at this point could actually make a difference. Many observers find it interesting that Crawford would make such strong statements about Teofimo's condition when Shakur still has several weeks of training left to reach peak form.
Would Teofimo knock out Shakur? No. Can Teo adjust to the point where he beats Shakur? Yeah. You don't see how? Shakur hates slick and economic boxers. So does Teo. They both hate where each other are. Shakur looks great against volume punchers.
Boxing experts have been trying to figure out whether Crawford's alleged warnings are real tactical concerns or intentional attempts to motivate Shakur to push even harder in these final weeks. Sources close to the situation say Crawford has been incredibly involved during this entire training camp, spending way more time with Shakur than he did for previous fights. One person allegedly connected to the camp said Crawford is literally there almost every single day, He's sparring with Shakur, giving advice, watching film, breaking down everything. This isn't just casual mentorship, he's completely invested in making sure Shakur wins this fight. The level of dedication that Crawford has allegedly shown has led many to believe that his concerns about Teofimo are completely real rather than just promotional stuff.
Give out too much. I don't want to give out too much.
Okay, all right.
Well, I mean, we all know he had problems with people that move around the ring. He wanted people to stand in front of them, and he could pick them apart when you stand right there in front of him. But I plan on doing. I mean, I'm not going to say the game plan, but I plan on doing a little bit of both.
What makes this story even more crazy is the specific parts of Teofimo's training that allegedly caught Crawford's attention and raised these red flags. According to sources claiming to know Crawford's analysis, the legendary fighter was especially impressed by 3 specific things about Lopez's recent training footage. First, the hand speed that Teofimo is showing right now allegedly looks noticeably faster than what he displayed in his previous fights at 40 pounds. One source familiar with Crawford's thinking allegedly revealed Crawford kept saying his hands are stupid fast right now. He mentioned that Teofimo looks like he's fighting at 135 with the speed he's showing, but he's got 140 power behind those punches. Second, the footwork and ring positioning that Lopez demonstrated in training videos allegedly showed major improvements from his most recent performances.
As far as next, I want to see him fight Teo. If Teo can win, I don't have him beating Shakur, but he's more likely to fight Devin with out no clauses, just straight up welterweight. We have video footage. We've seen a Shakur Stevenson say in an interview, I don't want no clauses. Then maybe a year later on the Breakfast Club interview, he say, I want clauses.
Sources say Crawford was especially impressed by how smoothly Teofimo was moving side to side while keeping perfect punching position throughout his combinations. Third, and maybe most concerning for Shakur's camp, the pure physical conditioning that Teofimo appears to be in right now allegedly beats anything he's shown in previous training camps. One insider allegedly shared Crawford watched Teo doing these crazy conditioning drills, and he told Shakur this man is preparing for 12 hard rounds. He's not looking for an early knockout, he's ready to go to war for the full distance. This kind of detailed breakdown from someone with Crawford's expertise and experience makes these observations especially valuable for understanding what might actually happen when they fight. The fourth thing that allegedly caught Crawford's attention was Teofimo's improved defensive awareness and head movement during his recent training sessions. Sources claim that Crawford pointed out specific moments in Lopez's training footage where his defensive reactions looked sharper than they've been in years.
Man, that fight right there, I think this is gonna be I think it's gonna be Shakur best opponent for him, style-wise and all of that. Just because I feel like they match him up perfect.
One person close to the situation allegedly said Crawford was really impressed with how Teo is slipping punches now. He told the team, "Do you see how clean his defense is? Shakur is going to have a tough time landing clean shots if Teo keeps moving like that." These observations have reportedly led to changes in Shakur's game plan, with more focus being put on setting traps and creating angles rather than depending on straight technical boxing. The fifth and final thing that sources claim worried Crawford was the mental focus and intensity that Teofimo is showing in every single training session. According to insiders, Crawford allegedly told people in Shakur's camp that Lopez appears to be in a completely different mental space than he was during his last few fights. One source allegedly quoted Crawford as saying, "This ain't the same Teo who was cruising through fights. This is the Teo who beat Lomachenko. This is hungry Teo, and that's the most dangerous version of him." This assessment has allegedly pushed Crawford to work even more intensely with Shakur on mental preparation and staying focused throughout all 12 rounds.
I'm slow, right?
Mentally.
Oh my God, mentally, okay. I'm talking about I'm slow in the boxing ring, right?
Mentally.
I'm talking about the boxing ring, what you was talking about. I'm slow, right?
Mentally.
Okay, you're gonna see. I promise you're gonna see.
Trying to figure out what Crawford truly thinks about this matchup continues to fascinate boxing fans who are desperately trying to predict what's going to happen. Crawford has publicly said on multiple occasions that Shakur Stevenson will beat Teofimo Lopez, and he even reportedly made a $10,000 bet with streamer Aiden Ross backing Shakur. The public confidence that Crawford shows is in interesting contrast to the alleged private concerns that sources claim he's expressed about Teofimo's current condition. However, some people close to Crawford's camp have allegedly suggested that his public confidence and private concerns aren't actually contradictory. One source allegedly explained the situation by saying Crawford believes Shakur will win, but he also recognizes that Tao is bringing absolutely everything to this fight. You can believe your guy will win while still respecting how dangerous the opponent is.
What a fight this is. It's a super fight. It's a super fight. It's interesting because every time I've spoken to Shakur about moving up in weight, he's always said, look, I'm good at 135. I think he understands that these guys at 140 are just a lot bigger.
This makes perfect sense given Crawford's own experience facing dangerous opponents throughout his legendary career and understanding that confidence has to be balanced with respect. Crawford's involvement in this fight goes way beyond just casual support or friendship with Shakur Stevenson, according to multiple sources familiar with what's happening. The legendary fighter has allegedly been running film study sessions with Shakur, breaking down Teofimo's previous fights and identifying patterns and habits. One insider reportedly revealed Crawford and Shakur have watched the Lomachenko fight like they've studied the Kambosos fight, the Josh Taylor fight, every single important moment of Teo's career. This level of preparation shows how seriously Crawford is taking his role as mentor and how determined he is to make sure Shakur has every possible advantage. Sources also say that Crawford has been bringing in specific sparring partners who can copy different aspects of Teofimo's style and physical traits.
Like, we know Teo for getting up for the big fights. And the reason why I really want to see this fight, I truly believe that Teo could stop Shakur. It ain't going to be no headshot that's going to do it. It's going to be the body shots. Shakur didn't get on those ropes when he fought Zepeda. I felt like Zepeda put him.
One person close to the camp allegedly said Crawford handpicked every single sparring partner for this camp. He wanted guys who fight like Teo, guys with similar power, similar speed, similar angles. Nothing is being left to chance. The careful attention to detail that Crawford is allegedly putting into this preparation has impressed everyone on Shakur's team and given them confidence. The bigger picture of Crawford's alleged reactions goes far beyond just this single fight between Shakur and Teofimo. This matchup represents a potential changing of the guard in the lighter-weight divisions, with two young champions in their absolute prime facing off for supremacy. Crawford's close involvement with Shakur's preparation shows how seriously the legendary fighter takes this bout and how much is potentially on the line for everyone involved. Boxing analysts think that whoever wins this fight will immediately become one of the biggest stars in the sport and potentially set up even bigger matchups later on.
The fight between Stevenson and Lopez, what a fight.
Who wins that?
Lopez. You think Stevenson? Lopez is a very good fighter, bro. I've trained with him. I've heard him on the pod. He bangs hard. He's a good all-round boxer, slick. A lot of people don't give him the credit for how good of a boxer he is. Look, he's the type of guy I know about Lopez is that when he has to turn it up, he turns it up. And I think with someone like Shakur, he will have to turn it up big time.
What's interesting is Teofimo Lopez himself has made it clear that beating Shakur is just the first step in his ultimate plan to eventually face Crawford at higher weights. Lopez said in a recent interview that if Crawford can move up 3 weight classes to fight Canelo, then Teofimo should be able to move up to challenge Crawford as well. This adds an extra layer of intrigue to the situation, as Crawford is effectively helping prepare the opponent that his future opponent needs to get through first. Some boxing insiders allegedly believe that Crawford's intense involvement in Shakur's camp might actually be motivated by wanting to study Teofimo's style and tendencies in case they eventually do fight. One analyst allegedly commented Crawford is a genius at studying opponents. By helping Shakur prepare for Teofimo, he's also gathering intelligence on Lopez's patterns, habits, and weaknesses for a potential future fight. Whether this theory has any truth remains to be seen, but it certainly adds fascinating context to why Crawford might be so deeply invested in this particular matchup.
Tim Bradley said that he feels like Shakur Stevenson can hurt you. Not necessarily with power, but by frustrating you, controlling the distance, nullifying your offense, just making you look bad. He said that he feels like Shakur has superior boxing IQ compared to you.
That's cool. That's his opinion. That's cool.
The relationship between Crawford and Lopez has been complicated over the years, with periods of tension and mutual respect going back and forth throughout their careers. Sources suggest that Crawford's assessment of Teofimo's current training condition is purely professional and based on objective analysis rather than any personal feelings. One insider allegedly shared Crawford respects Teo's skills even though they've had their issues. When he says Teo looks like a beast, that's coming from a place of genuine recognition of talent, not trying to create drama. This professional approach from Crawford shows his maturity and understanding that boxing is ultimately about respecting the craft, regardless of personal relationships. As the boxing world processes all of these developments and tries to separate fact from promotional hype, the biggest questions still remain unanswered. Is Terence Crawford genuinely concerned that Shakur might be in serious danger against this version of Teofimo Lopez? The truth is that without direct statements from Crawford himself confirming or denying these alleged private comments, much of this story exists in the realm of insider reports and speculation. However, the fact that Crawford is training so intensely with Shakur and spending so much time in camp suggests he's taking this threat very seriously regardless of what he says publicly.
Well, you got guys fighting between 130, 135, and 140. They stack, around that area. So, I mean, as of right now,
skills that pay the bills.
The most skillful fighter at 135 will be hands down Shakur Stevens.
What we absolutely know for certain is that both fighters are in incredible condition. The buildup has been absolutely electric, and January 31st cannot come soon enough for boxing fans. Whether Teofimo Lopez is truly the beast that sources claim Crawford called him, or whether Shakur Stevenson's technical brilliance will prove too much, remains to be seen in the ring. For now, Crawford must continue pushing Shakur to be absolutely ready for whatever version of Teofimo shows up at Madison Square Garden on fight night. The stakes couldn't be higher, the preparation has been intense, and the boxing world is ready for what promises to be an absolute war between two elite fighters. Hopefully both fighters stay healthy, make it to the ring safely, and give us the kind of performance that lives up to all the incredible hype and anticipation. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and action in the world of boxing, stay tuned by subscribing to our channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications. Until next time, peace out.